herzlich und wünsche viel Spaß.
So first of all, thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm going to talk tonight about the Internet of Things and its impact on sports. And I will give you an example, especially in professional sports, how it's already impacting professional sports and how it's going to change it even more in the future. And then I will give you a brief overview about our startup and how we interact in this field and what our vision is. Let's get started. So I think especially here in Vienna, everybody knows this way of Internet of Things kind of and sports. Like Runtastic made the beginning here in Austria and then started out to having success all over the world with their running app. So what did they do? They went out and built an app that tracks your running activity and tells you what you're doing, how fast you're running, how far you run, and give you various workout data. And people started to use it and to share that data and really to accept this product, and it became really successful. So we thought, well, if people are so crazy for running data, which is, from my opinion, running is really boring, why don't we have anything for other sports? So we started to look out for other things, and we saw that Runtastic did it as well, and they went in the direction of, let's say, health tracking. And they did, for example, this here. And this is for now a Runtastic smart watch sports device. There are others outside of the market as well, like Jawbone, and they track like your sleep and other activities. And we went further and said, okay, but what is about real sports? Like not only how much steps you made a day, because actually the value add of tracking how much steps you made a day is not that much for you. But now if I could tell an athlete how much he improved his performance, especially a professional athlete that really earns millions of dollars a year in an industry which is really big and really relies on exact information, exact data, how this interacts with Internet of Things and how does that work. So we took a look at American football. And American football is a very good use case because in comparison to soccer, there is already technology in place. Like we all know that soccer actually does not accept any kind of technology. You have no replay. You have now this, when they introduced during the last World Cup, those sensors on the goal line, there was like kind of a scandal because everyone was like, oh my God, are we now cheating on the referees? And so soccer is a really conservative sport, but football is not. And it's common use in football that they have replays, that they have already cameras supporting the referees to make decisions. And so it's no coincidence that now football is one of the first sports to introduce really smart equipment. One of it is this protection gear. It looks like a normal protection gear, but it has sensors in it, and those sensors track impact. We all know that especially during football games, people slash together with a lot of force, a lot of speed, and so they get hurt, and they get hurt a lot. And those are only the few common injuries that football players have. I could read all of them, but it's way too much. And it happens that people die during football games because it's a really hard sport. And it's not like soccer, they hurt a little bit and then they stay on the ground and cry a little bit. So it's
it's cry baby.
So actually I play soccer, but so it's really important to have data on the impact and on the health of the athlete. That's why people went there and developed equipment which is able to track the actual health status of an athlete, especially when he's on the field, having an adrenaline rush. And in the game, a lot of people don't feel pain. So you have cases where players were playing and still, actually they were not able to play because they had a broken arm, and they continue playing. And on the long run, this is not good for the player, not good for the team, not good for anyone. So this technology supports the coaches to take out those players out of the game. Another advantage, of course, is that teams can improve on the tactics. Because now the coach sees exactly who's doing his job well and who sucks. And now the coach can really improve his technical training and improve the workout, the training techniques that he's using. For example, there are now also smart helmets. So we have cameras on helmets. We have not only the communication system with the coach now. Now the coach sees also what the quarterback is seeing. So he can make adjustments. He can see things and comment on things that maybe the quarterback was not paying attention to. Because don't forget, this guy is standing there and he's having an adrenaline rush as well. Because there are huge guys running him trying to catch it. So maybe he's not that cool and does not see any details that the coach might see through his iPad. Another advantage is also that those helmets can measure impact and thereby protect the player's brains, or at least measure if there's already some damage done and we should take him out of the game. Another kind of smart equipment in this case is also the ball. Having a ball which is tracked where it is in real time has the advantage that we can now also make clear decisions on game situations. If the ball passed a certain line, for example. In order to make this, you can install receiver loop antennas right next to the field, and it's developed by Disney Research, by the way. And then you can track the way the ball made on the field. And by doing this, you can have like really reliable data to make decisions if the ball reached a certain point. Here's a short example that we can see how it actually works. Let's see if the video works. No, it doesn't. Of course not. So you can see here. How the movement of the ball is tracked. And there are certain points that measure where the ball was. And so there will be no doubt about any decisions that the referee made wrong. And there will be, especially when we talk about games like the Super Bowl that was last weekend, we talk about a lot of money if there were wrong decisions. And especially sponsors who sponsor those teams have the interest that the decisions that are made are right. Another use case for smart equipment are the gloves. Because when the ball comes in high speed to the player, to the right receiver, and he tries to catch the ball, if he does not catch the ball with his fingertips, the ball might fall off his hand. So if he touches the ball first with his palm, with the palm of his hand, the ball falls off. And now, because everything happens so quick, if you have a smart glove, the coach can tell his player, hey, you're touching the ball first with your palm, and that's why you're dropping it. So now he can focus on improving the player's technique in order to improve his skill to catch the ball. Now, we went there and said, okay, sounds really cool, everything, but we don't really play American football, and we enjoy other things to do. And that's why we decided to go to another field that we actually enjoy, that we do. And we went to gyms. We decided to take a look at gyms. Why gyms are not being tracked? Why gyms are not being measured? And what is the benefit to measure their workout? And so we started to interview people. And we had some interviews with Olympic weightlifters. They do professional sports as well, and they shared with us that data is important in their case because it tells a lot about how much strength they have. One of the guys told me once, he was like, okay Kevin, sometimes I wake up and I have a good day, like I hear a nice song, everything's nice with my girlfriend, I have a nice breakfast, and I go to make my workout, and I can lift 150 kilograms 5 times without having any pain, nothing. And the next day I try the same thing, and after 3 times I have pains everywhere, like my neck hurts and everything. And he's like, there must be a reason for it, and I cannot really tell it. And this really has a negative impact on my workouts. This really has a negative impact on my preparation for championships. And he's like, he knows that his body will be able to do more, and he would be able to prepare better for workouts when he had more feedback. But he feels that he has no force anymore. And actually what we figured out is that if we could tell him the speed that he was lifting the weight, even though he feels he's weak, he would see on the screen that he's not. And that would have a great impact on his workout routine, because he would know that he's still able to make a rep more. Which now for us sounds okay, that's not that much, well, it's a rep more, but for an athlete that lifts so much weight, lifting it one more time, makes a big difference. And so he was like, this will make a very big impact on, let's say, his preparation for a championship. So we went out and we tried to talk also to those guys, to professional bodybuilders. And we talked to them and we asked them, hey guys, what would be a benefit for you guys if we measured your workout? And they said, hey, they often have the problem that they have plateaus and they don't recognize it. And in order to recognize it, they have to make handwritten notes. So they store the data, they write it down, and then they put it in Excel. So they have a lot of issues, and they need those data, they need those information in order to analyze if they are making progress. Because you always have, you first start rising, whatever you start doing, you first have a steep increase in skill, and then comes a plateau. And as soon as they hit the plateau, they have to change the exercise. But often they don't recognize that they hit this plateau, because they have this data collected on some nodes here, some nodes over there, and there's important data lost. So they cannot anticipate and not see plateaus, and thereby it slows down their workout. Another big issue was that we found out during our interviews that especially people that work out heavily in gyms have an issue that they cannot tell if they get hurt. Like they feel it's okay, but then they continue working out, and since most amateurs don't know how to work out in a certain way, they get hurt even more. So we thought, okay, now if we could tell also about the quality of the workout, how could we help people get less injured? Because often people work out in the wrong manner, or they work out too much, or they do the exercise wrong, and then they get hurt. And then in the end, we don't have healthier people, we have injured people. So we started to study a little bit about how to make a workout in a real way and how to measure it, and we found out that most of the time the movements are the same. And the movements, if someone that knows about how to work out, and the movements of someone who does not work out, does not know how to work out, they are so different from each other that we could tell it by sensors that this person is working out wrong. So there would be a lot of benefits. We could help professional athletes to improve their workout. We could help bodybuilders to build on quicker mass. We could help amateurs to avoid injuries, just by tracking the workout, just by measuring how they're actually working out. Another benefit that we found out is that personal trainers would love our product. We were like, why would they love it? Because actually we're eradicating it with them. We're making them useless. And they were like, no, we need it. Oh my God, when can it deliver? Please, I'm crying. When will we have it? Because they waste a lot of time making what I told you what the professional bodybuilders do. Making notes, analyzing it, and then writing it down. And then putting it into Excel, making analysis, and sending all the data to their clients. And actually this is work which is not paid. So they lose money, literally. Every single day, hours and hours, they lose money doing work that an automatic tracking system could do for them. So we saw that there are so many people actually craving for a system which solves all of those problems. And then we came up with our solution, which is FitTrack. We attach sensors to already existing gym equipment and make it thereby possible to track the quality of the workout and not only how much reps were made, but how quick they were made, if the movement was smooth and in the right manner, and thereby checking all the workouts that the people do and telling them things about the quality and the quantity of the workouts. And saving not only time, but also preventing injuries. We're actually hiring right now, and we're looking for people who have those skills. Especially right now, they are really urgent, so give me on. I have, me and my colleague, we're here. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for a stunning presentation. We really love what you're doing. You've mentioned the health aspect, so when you do the movements wrong and something like that, you can also like infer from the movements, from the tracking devices. Would it be also possible to use it in a kind of rehabilitation setting context, so you can maybe improve the rehabilitation if due to some injuries and stuff?
Thank you. First of all, thank you. Yes, and it's already used, especially because in rehabs, well, we have their insurance backing it, and this equipment is very expensive. There's already equipment in place which is able to track everything you do, which is able to adapt on your force. But this is this is medical equipment, so those machines are very expensive, and thereby they're not accessible for the mass market. And so there are already since 10 years machines which are able to do this, but they cost like 100K one of them. So what we're actually doing, we're bringing this technology which is only used during rehabilitation process to the mass market. Any questions? Someone else? You. Okay then.
Thank you.
We're currently now testing it in Fit 21, which is a branch of John Harris in the 2nd district. But it's just a few machines, and it's still in testing phase. But we plan, like, by the end of the year to roll it out all over the world, so that you can work on it. As well as cable row. For the beginning, we were able to track cable row, and in the long term, also free weights. Especially free weights, that's the place where most people make the biggest mistakes. And that's why, if you focus on health issues, especially free weights are very important.
Thank you.